Hello guys, just got out of the Sydney premiere of the brand new film from Amazon MGM Studios and courtesy of Sony Pictures in Australia, and that is of course Masters of the Universe. It is based off the famous Mattel toy line that was pretty much a counter punch to the highly successful Star Wars toy line that was brought by Kenner. Famously, Mattel rejected the proposal by George Lucas to do the merchandise for Star Wars, and probably ended up being one of the biggest mistakes for the company. So they released that toy line, which influenced an incredible animated series from the 1980s that was a phenomenon. I'm talking about hundreds of episodes were syndicated, and they were in reruns for a very long time. It was a massive hit. The voiceover work in that animated series was fantastic, and some of the soundtrack in that was amazing as well. It still kind of resonates in my mind now how incredible that is. As for this movie, it very much leans into the animated series and what influenced that. Some of the character designs in this are really like just kind of taken from the animated series, particularly the male character designs. I thought it was incredible work. Director Travis Knight, he famously directed Bumblebee, that was one of the best films in the Transformers series, considering its attention to detail and its really cool character arcs. But this is like Travis Knight literally playing with his toys on the big screen. He has done some incredible things in this that I didn't think were kind of possible on the big screen. It is a love letter to those people who love that animated series, but also it's accessible for all audiences, really. It has this really unique way it portrays its character arcs. It is fun and enjoyable and action-packed, but at the same time, it doesn't take itself too seriously. But when it needs to, it has these heartwarming kind of character arcs in it, which is kind of quite incredible. It does become a little bit of a parody of itself sometimes, but that's just saying it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's kind of fully aware of itself. It knows the quirkiness of the source material that inspired it, but at the same time, it is just magic to see some of these moments on screen. Highly entertaining, and if you told me months ago that Masters of the Universe is probably a better constructed film than Mandalorian and Grogu, I probably would have laughed at you. But that's actually the fact. It kind of really is that. It is very much heavily influenced, as I said, by the animated series. Probably some of the story world design I probably would have made it a little bit darker and gloomier, kind of like the animated series. But at the same time, the attention to detail is amazing, whether it's Eternia or Castle Grayskull. Some of it is on Earth, and that's probably the weakest parts. There's only about 15 to 20 minutes of an over 2 hour runtime that features in the film in relation to that. But the Eternia stuff is great. It's just that probably stuff on Earth, a little bit cynical, and probably trying to deeply relate it to kind of Earth and have that relatability. It's probably smart because it does feel a bit like a fantasy genre film as well as a myth genre film at the same time. Probably essential for character arcs and that sort of thing as you kind of follow those genre beats. But at the same time, I have to say that those Earth parts probably didn't need to be in the film at all. If they kind of had more of it in Eternia and probably took the material a little bit more seriously, they probably have an even better film than what they've got. So something to keep in mind for the next film. But really, the rest of it is so enjoyable, so fun, and just some of the performances are really great. Probably the standout for me in the role of Teela is Camila Mendes. I think she's going to get a lot of film roles after this, a lot of opportunities. She is that good in it, and she conveys this strong female character that just kind of really works well on the big screen. She's really, I really came to like her quite a bit in this. Nicholas Galitzine, he takes on the role that's probably a little bit tricky. It is, of course, He-Man and Prince Adam. And he does a good job. I didn't think he was perfectly cast when I heard he was in it, but aesthetically he looks great. He does lots of fun things in this. And he conveys his weakness in the form of Adam, because basically it is very much like a trope of Clark Kent and Superman. You're transforming into this ideal man in some moments, and then you're portraying this weak and insecure man in others. And Nicholas Galitzine, he does a great job with that. It's done in a more modern way than that was depicted in the animated series, though, which is kind of intriguing to see. He does really good work, and I think it's very smart work in the script to convey all that, and I think he does great. Probably a little bit too cynical for me. If they took it a little bit more seriously, I think they would have had a better film. But in saying that, it's fun, and it's kind of feels very much like a Guardians of the Galaxy and a Thor film particularly something like Thor Ragnarok. But at the same time, it feels like a bit of a Star Wars kind of film as well. So you've got those crazy moments of humour in it, but you've also got some heartwarming moments in it, and it's really enjoyable and fun and energetic. But yeah, Camila Mendes, such a highlight for me in this, and Nicholas Galitzine does a good job with what he has. Idris Elba in the role of Man-at-Arms, he has a unique character arc for himself in it as well, and it is useful, and it's kind of this aging warrior kind of character arc, and I think it kind of works quite well, and just to have him have a bit of an arc there is very well done indeed. Also, have to say, this unique portrayal of courtesy of Jared Leto in the role of Skeletor, I thought was really interesting. He's not exactly like the animated series depiction, but he's offering some crazy version of that as well. And full disclosure, I remember him depicting Joker in Suicide Squad. I didn't like that performance at all, but in this, he's offering this performance that is so funny at times, but so sinister at times as well. So you've got this skull-faced character who is just absolutely sinister and does some really grotesque things to people, but at the same time, he is an absolutely hilarious character in some of his massaged kind of twirling villainous moments, and he just really leans into that and the ridiculousness of it, and I think that's just hilarious and incredible at the same time that he manages to do that. Very well conveyed, and I'm sure Mattel probably had some role in that, because he could be scary at times, this character, and the added humour kind of really works really well in this. Yeah, it's wonderful to kind of see that. I do highly recommend seeing this. I will just say that the character designs are so authentic to the designs of the toys and the animated television series, but also that the storyboard design is incredibly authentic as well. I would just say that the female character designs, not as authentic, they work incredibly well though, just not as risque, which is kind of interesting because when you think about it, there's a lot of innuendo in this film which I would never expected, considering it's probably leaning to younger audiences as well. So it does a lot of humorous things, but it also takes itself seriously when it needs to, but it is zany at times as well, but highly entertaining regardless. I very much recommend seeing this. Definitely check it out in cinemas while you can. Some great performances. I will say there's 3 end credit scenes in this as well. The middle one probably shows a little bit too much, but they're not leaving anything on the table. They're really going for it, and I can see a sequel happening for this. Very entertaining film. Definitely catch it in cinemas while you can. I highly recommend it. But aside from that, I'm about to head off. Hopefully you enjoy the footage from tonight. Definitely subscribe so you don't miss the next video, and also leave a comment to let me know what you thought of Masters of the Universe if you have seen it, and what you thought of the animated series. I'd love to hear about it. Aside from that, I'm about to head off. I'll catch you guys at the next one. So long.
Adam, when you hold the magic sword, what do you say?
By the power of Grayskull.
Go on. Now you're ready.
It seems the prodigal prince has returned. I am a devil, but I mean to be a god.
What am I supposed to do?
You are he who will restore peace to Eternia.
Skeletor took my family, and he destroyed our world. I'm gonna fight for it.
He's coming!
Neck and neck. And Ram Man.
Hell yeah!
And you, Fisto!
Mr. Allen!
It's Adam, dude.
Hey, put your neck away. Let me show you what real power looks like.
Our time for talk is over.
Can you come help me with this? Whoa.
It is quite heavy, so if you
Oh
could just...
my god, yeah.